Mohammed Haneef's being held in solitary confinement because of his special status as a suspected terrorist supporter.
I've asked them to explain to me under what legislation that comes from, and I don't think I'm going to get a response to that. From my last call to the corrective services wasn't a pleasant call.
Haneef might be cut off from his fellow prisoners, but he's been able to read a newspaper for the first time since he was arrested last month. Speaking to a small protest demanding Haneef's release, his solicitor said he'd told him there was widespread public support for him.
He was moved to tears when I told him this. He's an intelligent man who doesn't quite understand what has happened.
And Wakehole Prison in Brisbane's southwest is indeed a long way from this medical school in India where Haneef studied to become a doctor. Haneef's cousin Sabil also studied here. Haneef later lived in England with Sabil and gave him his mobile phone SIM card last year before moving to Australia. Sabil's been arrested in the UK for failing to prevent a terrorist plot. University officials are surprised the pair's been implicated in terrorism and say there's nothing to suggest they were involved in a radical Islamist student group.
It was quite shocking for the university. Students of this university who usually inculcate high moral values, it's quite shocking for us to know that.
Back in Brisbane, Haneef's lawyer had some advice for the Australian government.
But it would be good if the political process could just step out of the arena and let this matter take its course in the federal court and then later in the magistrates' court.
And the government has the same advice for Haneef's defence team, which leaked the transcript of a police interview with him 2 days ago.
I don't believe that it is helpful to the proper handling of cases for there to be any leaking.
You won't get a fair trial for any individual if you have leaking of material and people endeavouring to influence the court of public opinion.
The Australian newspaper which ran the leak withdrew the transcript from its website overnight. The paper's editor told Lateline, "We had some advice before we put the record of interview up on the website, and late last night that advice changed." Mr Whittaker could not say why the advice had changed. The legal community is rallying behind the actions of Haneef's defence team.
There is a fairly universal view that the cancellation of Dr Haneef's visa was a cynical exercise of power by the minister. In a sense, Dr Haneef is now facing a trial before a trial insofar as his challenge in the federal court to the visa cancellation is concerned.
Haneef's next court hearing is in August. Tom Miggleton, Lateline.